Yo, it's Bryan here. Today, gonna be talking about the San Francisco 49ers and gonna be talking about Brian Hoyer for another week. Yes, I think I made one a couple weeks ago before the Rams game saying, should we start Brian Hoyer, bench Brian Hoyer? And I was on more of the bench side. And gonna be answering that question again a couple weeks later. Should we bench or start Brian Hoyer yet again? So let's just dive into it. But before I make my answer, I'm gonna make a statistical category, I guess you could say. I don't know if I want to call it statistical category, but I'm going to be spitting out some statistics for you guys for Brian Hoyer so far this season. And so far, hasn't been pretty impressive. I don't think so. I think he's been kind of okay, but at the same time, he's been really inconsistent. Very slow first halves, and then second half, he picks it up. But by the time the second half, they got to try to make a comeback. They got to try to rush everything. And it's like trying to cram for like a test the last minute, but can't really do anything after that. And I think that's what it's like for the 49ers and Brian Hoyer. It's like they're trying to procrastinate on scoring, and then at the end they do score a lot, but at the same time they don't score enough to win the game because the game's going to overtime and they can't really do anything after that. The defense is really damn tired for being on the field too damn long, and then the receivers can't really catch the ball sometimes. I mean, some of it's bad Brian Hoyer passes, some of it was really good passes from Brian Hoyer, but just very inconsistent play on the offensive side of the ball. Carlos Hyde, he's been kind of inconsistent for the past week or two now. I mean, the Arizona Cardinals game wasn't really the best for him. I think he got hurt or something like that. Matt Breida ended up playing that game, and then the game against the Colts, he only had like 18 yards. It was very uncharacteristic for Carlos Hyde to get that many yards. He's usually getting almost 100 yards a game or something like that, but very unusual. But hopefully they can make some adjustments for the Redskins game this Sunday. I don't know if they're going to win that game, but we'll see what happens then. Anyways, going to be going back to Brian Hoyer. I mean, his statistics so far for the whole season, I'm going to read it to you guys right now. Currently, he is 4 for 4 in touchdown interception ratio, so nothing really impressive there. Overall passer rating of 76. I'm just going to round it up. And his passing yards is 12-11. That's not too awful. That's kind of okay, but I mean, still, like, he can do more in the first half. I think they would be 4-1 if they would do something in the first half, but can't do anything now. And he has a completion percentage of 59%, nothing too impressive there. The big thing I want to go talk about is the yards per attempt. I think that's a really big issue to go with Brian Hoyer. I think this is probably some of the reason why the offense is pretty anemic in my opinion. And overall, the 49ers yards per attempt is 5.7, which is ranked almost 30th in the NFL. And first is, I think, overall is New England, so nothing really surprising with Tom Brady. But, I mean, San Francisco got to do something more with the passing game, and it's really kind of anemic in my opinion. And they have been improving so far. I mean, they did average 6.5 passing yards per attempt the last 3 games, so that's getting a little bit improvement. But at the same time, they all been in the second half and nothing in the first half, so this doesn't really take into consideration where all the yards and everything and pass attempts is picking up. I mean, it usually picks up in the second half, and the first half is just pretty much a dud and what have you. So that's pretty bad for an offense. I mean, that's just showing that mostly the 49ers are kind of dinking and dunking, sort of. I'm kind of a fan of that, but at the same time, you can't be doing that every single play. I mean, I think that's what they were doing with Chip Kelly last year with Colin Kaepernick and Blaine Gabbert. Just a lot of dinking and dunking. It was just, I think Blaine Gabbert only averaged like 4 or 5 passing yards per attempt. That was not good. I don't know about Kaepernick. I think Kaepernick had pretty much the same thing, maybe 4 to 6 or something like that last year, but it was just pretty bad. And these don't really scream, I got to be a starter for the 49ers for the rest of the season. I don't want to be too biased against Brian Hoyer because, I mean, I'm not really the biggest fan of his now. I mean, I tried to be this whole season, but it's been really hard to root for Brian Hoyer with all the performances he's had this season. I mean, he's had some pretty good performances. Don't get me wrong. The Rams and the Colts game, I guess you could say, in the second half, they were freaking impressive, but you got to remember, you got to play all 4 quarters to win an NFL game, and he hasn't been doing that. I mean, the Panthers game, it was pretty bad. The Seahawks game, he was pretty bad. The Rams, the first half, I mean, interception the first play, no fun. Arizona Cardinals, he was kind of bad, and then the Indianapolis Colts, he was anemic in the first half, but in the second half, he picked it up. I mean, really inconsistent play from the quarterback position, and that begs the question, should we bench Brian Hoyer, or should we keep starting Brian Hoyer? Well, according to Kyle Shanahan, and my answer is, I think we should bench him, to be honest with you. I mean, I wouldn't say bench for the whole season. I mean, I'm not going to say, just, bench him and put him on IR, non-football injury or something like that, but I'm saying we should bench him to see what CJ Beathard can do. I mean, why don't you give him an opportunity to get some reps, see how a regular season play actually plays, because, I mean, we're in week 6 right now. The games still kind of count. It's not like week 15 or 16 where it's just pretty much garbage time, but in garbage play. Now it's still early on in the season. I mean, what can you go wrong not starting CJ Beathard, Kyle Shanahan? I think you should give him an opportunity, in my opinion. But if you want to keep going with Brian Hoyer, that's totally fine. I mean, I can't really do anything about that. I'm not the coaching staff. I don't make the decisions or anything, and none of us in Niner Nation make the decisions for who should start as quarterback or start in anything, actually, for the 49ers. But I really believe that Kyle Shanahan should give CJ Beathard Beathard a chance to see what he can do. I mean, the preseason, he was not that bad, actually. I mean, he's shown some flashes of greatness, I guess you could say. I know it's the preseason, but, I mean, seeing something. I mean, a little sample size, it's better than nothing. And I think he's a pretty mobile quarterback. I mean, we saw that, I think, 70-plus yard touchdown against the Chargers, I think. I think that was the game. And it was really impressive to see. So, I mean, if he has to scramble out of the pocket, then there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Bryan Hoyer's not really known for that, but C.J. Beathard can do that. He has the potential to do that. And plus, we might need some new life on offense. Maybe he can put some more life. Maybe he can have better rapport with the receivers, and maybe Carlos Hyde and Matt Breida and what have you in the backfield. They can do a good job with C.J. Beathard chemistry going. I think he has been getting first-team reps during practice and what have you, and they did that just in case Bryan Hoyer decides to suck dick and throw 3 interceptions in one game or something like that. But I guess Kyle Shanahan feels Bryan Hoyer gives the best chance to win just because the games are really close. But at the same time, the first half, come on, we got to get something going in the first half. That's why I want to bench Bryan Hoyer, just because we just need a consistent play in all 4 quarters, not just the second half or the first half. I mean, the 49ers aren't choking crazy like the Falcons or something like that, but at the same time, they can't be going for all comebacks and trying to win games like that. But that's just my opinion. And I mean, I hope Kyle Shanahan eventually gives the reins to C.J. Beathard, maybe for a couple of weeks, I would say. I mean, I don't know if he's going to do that. I really don't think he's going to do that unless Bryan Hoyer has a really, really bad game. Then, yeah, you could pull the plug on him, I guess you can say, according to Kyle Shanahan. But as of right now, I just see the 49ers going to keep starting Bryan Hoyer until he has a terrible game. So, yeah, that's going to be pretty much it, you guys. I'm in favor of benching Bryan Hoyer in favor of C.J. Beathard, and I'm pretty sure everyone in Niner Nation is really into that. I think everyone wants to see what C.J. Beathard has to offer. I mean, what do you have to lose? I mean, we're currently 0-5 right now. We might be 0-6 by this week, so why not try something new? And maybe the Dallas Cowboys is coming up, and Ezekiel Elliott is now suspended, so that could maybe get in an advantageous situation for either Bryan Hoyer or C.J. Beathard. But if you want to start C.J. Beathard, I think next week against the Cowboys would be perfect, since the defense for the Cowboys, they're kind of okay, but they're not really that good in my opinion. I mean, they're in the middle, I would say. I mean, a little below average. I mean, they've been overachieved with Rob Marinelli as the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys. So, I mean, if you want to start C.J. Beathard, then I wouldn't be opposed at all. I wouldn't even be opposed if they started him against the Redskins, but that's not going to happen. So please let me know, what do you guys think about the quarterback situation? Do you think they should start Bryan Hoyer? Do you think they should bench Bryan Hoyer? Tell me why, I guess you can say. And if you guys like this, please like, subscribe, do whatever you want with this. I would have a poll in the card section right there to see what you guys think about this. I did this against the Colts and what have you, and I compiled the results, and pretty much everyone said we should bench Bryan Hoyer in favor of C.J. Beathard, and I don't blame them at all. I'm going to do it again right here near the end of the video, so if you want to take the poll, take the poll, but if not, you can just comment below on what you guys think, and yeah, I'll catch you guys up later. Hope you guys have a nice day, nice weekend, nice whatever, and I'll see you guys after the Redskins game. So, bye guys.